We're rolling. Right. Hello everybody. It's 10 days since I finished the challenge and we had a lot of questions come in, so I thought I'd do a little Q&A video. Hopefully this will help anyone wanting to get into endurance cycling. For anyone that doesn't know, that's just come onto this video looking at the endurance cycling title. I recently cycled every stage of the men's Tour de France plus the transfers for charity. We can now confirm that, including gift aid, we've raised over £90,000.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Which I just can't believe. And yeah, Kyle's got the questions, so hit me up.
Right, question number one.
Sorry, I'm just worried about the microphone position.
Well, you're holding yours further away from...
No, but you're holding yours up here.
Right, okay. Number one.
Sorry. How
did you train to be able to ride back-to-back days?
I think I'll do like a separate video on how to train for a big event, because I could go on for hours here and we all know I like to speak. But in a simple term, I started with a coach in January. Before that, I'd never had a coach before. I had last year, but yeah, sorry, I made a mistake there. Made a mistake on that one. I started with my coach for this in January. Last year I had about 6 months of coaching. But since I started cycling, I've always kind of cycled quite far. I had a base endurance from running. And my training basically consisted of long back-to-back rides every weekend. So every Saturday and Sunday, I'd do a long ride. That could be about 8 hours on a Saturday, 6 hours on a Sunday. And then in the week, I'd have 3 or 4 sessions, which would be harder, shorter. So like interval sessions, over and unders, which is where you do above your threshold and below your threshold. Your threshold, your FTP is basically your max power, is that, Kyle?
It's designed to be like the power you should be able to hold for around an hour.
Yeah, so
FTP, yeah.
It was that training where I'd go above that and below that to try and get my muscles ready. And it wasn't just being on the bike, it was doing strength and conditioning as well to prevent injury. But I think the main thing I always say about my training is just riding my bike as much as I can, because up until, like I say, this year and training for this, I have done some endurance events and I'd never had a coach and I didn't follow a plan. I just rode my bike loads. And I think the more you ride your bike and the more you do it multiple days, the more your body gets used to it. And I always say, don't feel like you have to have a coach to be able to do endurance events, because it's not something that everyone can afford. I'm very lucky. My coach Matt, who's absolutely great, my local bike shop Vela Bavarian, actually sponsored me by paying for my coaching. Not everyone can afford to pay, I don't know how much, like £120, £150 a month, but there are other alternatives. Like I use Ruby and they have training plans. You've just started one, haven't you, Kyle? Kyle's just started an FTP builder, but we'll talk about that at the end. So yeah, it's just multi-day riding really was the main thing, and getting my body used to being on the saddle for long hours back to back.
Okay, well, what was your nutrition plan? How did you not run out of energy?
I wouldn't say I had like a specific, like very, very specific plan. I wanted to be quite flexible with my eating. I think when you're talking about nutrition, the main thing to say, and also I want to say I'm not a professional endurance cyclist and I'm not an expert. This is just stuff that works for me, so please don't take this as professional advice. I think everyone is different and that's the most important thing. What works for me might not work for you. I am a bit of a weirdo because I don't use gels and I don't use carb mix. I did train a little bit with carb mix, but I just felt like I didn't need to use it, and my body works quite well with real food. And I think, having had an eating disorder, I do have that little thing in my head where I quite like to eat natural and real food, so I try and do that as much as I can with my riding. Obviously it's a lot easier if you use carb drinks because it's a lot easier to consume a liquid, but basically what I did was, in my training, got my body used to eating every hour on the bike. So at first my body didn't really like that, got a bit of upset stomach, a bit of bloating, but the more I did it, my body's adapted and got used to it. So people always say, oh, how can you eat like a whole baguette and then get straight on the bike? But for me, it's fine. So I'd say day by day, typically it did change a little bit, but I'd have a big bowl of porridge for breakfast. I'd have the biggest breakfast I could get in, because then that's going to fuel me for as long as possible. So I'd have a big bowl of porridge with sometimes honey, nuts, peanut butter, a banana, and lots of water and a pear. I always like to have a bit of fruit. Then I'd go for 2 hours on the bike, not eating anything, because that would just fuel me for then. And then between hour 2 and 3, I'd have a first snack, which could be a bar. I really like the SIS oat bars. They're really, really nice. homemade bars. I have them that we actually made while we were out there, homemade flapjacks, banana, smoothies, things like that are little pouch smoothies in my back pocket. And then at my first stop with Kyle, I'd always have my magic milkshake, which we can reveal contains not whey protein, that's in the recovery one, but it has whatever milk you like, cocoa powder, cinnamon, mixed spice, oats, peanut butter. Is that it?
Banana.
And banana. That's really nice. So that was always my first food stop. And I'd always also have a bit of food left over from the night before, so either pasta or rice, or if you can't have been to a bakery, an almond croissant. Then I'd go again, eating every hour, and then I'd meet Kyle again 4 hours time. So I'd meet Kyle 4 hours, and then at the end, so 4 hours again, meet Kyle. I wouldn't have a shake, I'd have pasta or rice or a baguette, something a bit substantial, and then I'd do the last bit of the ride again, eating every hour. And still in my head sometimes I'd be like, oh, I'm nearly done now, so I don't need to eat now, but actually I was fueling for the next day. And also, as my coach always tells me, keep eating right to the end of the ride each hour, because then you're helping your body to recover better. So that was really hard sometimes when my eating disorder voice came back in a little bit, but I managed to make sure that I ate enough. And then after I got off the bike, straight away, cherry juice, which Kyle forced me to have because that's what the pros do. Apparently it's very good for recovery. And then I'd have a recovery shake, which is exactly the same as the morning shake, but with added whey protein in. We use like a natural, 100% natural organic whey protein. And then I'd have an evening meal. Sometimes have a nice little pudding because I'd be really hungry, and then back to bed and same again. So yeah, basically a lot. I think I was having to eat 7,000 calories a day. So yeah, and since I've been home, I've been quite hungry, but that's kind of leveled off now. So yeah, but like I say, different things work for different people. The main thing is you just keep eating and keep fueled, and you have to eat a lot more than you think you do, is what I'd say. Because the worst thing is if you're feeling really hungry on a ride, it's probably too late. Do you agree, Kyle?
Yeah.
What were you fueling on in the car? Kyle, if you don't know, Kyle was supporting me in the car and riding a little bit as well.
Trying to think what I was feeling. I can't really remember.
Kyle lost weight, didn't you?
Yeah. I tried to be careful not to eat too much because I knew that I'd be in the car a lot. So
yeah, because I know one of the questions someone sent in was how many croissants did Kyle eat?
Yeah, which was a tally of 9 in total.
9? For 29 days? Didn't actually have that many then. No. How many did I have?
A lot more than me.
Can you have a look? We've got a tally of every single thing I've eaten. So you have a look how many I ate. We'll write it down. While you're doing that, shall I do the next question?
Yeah.
How did you prevent getting saddle sore, and how was your bum at the end of the ride? Well, saddle sore was one of the main things I was really worried about, because my first really long endurance ride I did was Paris-Brest-Paris, which is a 1,200 kilometre ride that happens every 4 years, Paris-Brest to Paris, as the name says. And I got really, really bad saddle sore on that, and it was awful, and I never want to relive that. So that was kind of a constant fear. But things I did differently this time was have a bike fit with UK Bike Fit. Really, really helped just make sure I was in the right position on the saddle. I got a Stella Talia saddle. I am sponsored by them, and I do have a discount code. I used them before I got sponsored. All my sponsors are things I'd already used, because I always like to be really honest about that. Like, I don't work with brands that I wouldn't use anyway. So yeah, Stella Talia works for me, but like I say, everyone's bum is different, so you have to find what works for you. And then this little bad boy, absolute lifesaver, chamois butter.
As you can see, it's been very well used.
Yeah, this is like the 3rd or 4th one we use. So what I would say to prevent saddle sore as well, obviously it's really important to be the right position on the bike, the right saddle. Chamois butter, people always say to me, where do you put it? Because I never knew this existed when I did Paris-Brest-Paris, and it might have been a different story if I did. You basically put it on where the seams of your bib shorts are. So what I'd say is underneath your bum cheeks, where that little crease is, and at the top, where the top of your legs meet, in between those creases there, just put it all in there. And then what I'd do is every time I went for a wee, sorry if this is too much information, but this is something that really helped me. Every time I went for a wee, wet wipe and reapply. I'd always have a little tub of chamois with me, and then I'd reapply with you. And then also when I got really hot, changing bib shorts, so I'd get to you, put a fresh pair of bib shorts on. That really helps as well, because obviously when you're getting sweaty down there, things can start to develop. The 3rd to last day, I started to get a blister. maybe the fourth to last day I started to get a blister where the top of my legs meet, and then the third to last day I started to get a blister underneath my bum. And I think the reason for that is I got wet and I got a bit hot and sweaty and I didn't change my bib shorts. And sometimes, I don't know why, but when it's raining, I don't tend to feel it rubbing. It's like afterwards when you get back you realise, oh no, I've rubbed and I've got a bit of a blister. But Compeed was the lifesaver for that. Honestly, I didn't think it was going to work because I thought it's too bad, it's just going to get worse and worse. But we put wipe the area with an alcohol wipe, make sure it's really dry, Compeed on, and I was absolutely fine. So yeah, so basically bike fit, right saddle, chamois butter and keeping clean.
And you're not always going to prevent, even with all those things, when you're riding as much as that, you're not always going to prevent something.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to ride for that amount of time and guarantee that you're going to be comfortable for the whole time. Sometimes, as bad as it sounds, you've got to suck it up and then try and deal with some of the little issues you might come across. Bits of advice. But obviously these things are massive factors.
Yeah, like it was painful. The blisters were painful, to be honest. But once we got them sorted, it was okay. But yeah, like Kyle says, you can't really expect to do a ride for that long without being in pain at some point. So yeah.
Would you like to be a professional cyclist?
No. That's an easy answer. Loads of people message me like, oh, you could be a pro. First of all, I'm not fast enough to be a pro. Second of all, I have no desire to be a pro. The thought of being in a peloton, in a bunch of people, no, not for me. I like the solo life, me and my mascots. That's what I enjoy.
Did you have any punctures or mechanicals, and how did you sort them on the road?
No. Literally, I cannot believe it. I wanted to keep saying while I was riding, while I was doing the videos, I was like, I can't believe I've not had a puncture. But I was like, I don't want to jinx it. So I was waiting until the last day to say I've not had a puncture. But these are the tyres that I use. These are a sponsor as well, just to be totally honest, because I like to be honest about it all. So Panaracer, I use the Agilis Joro TLR 30s. Here we are. So this is a new pair. This is the pair that we took with us to swap on, which we thought we'd need to swap on. But no, I use the same pair of tyres for the whole trip, 6,500.
And I was checking them.
Yeah, 6,556 kilometres. They've got little markers on that you can check and they're fine. I am going to swap them now, obviously, because they're about ready to swap. But no punctures the whole time. I was running tubes, not tubeless, because I prefer to have tubes because it's easy to fix. I had the Panaracer inner tubes in. And yeah, no punctures for that long, so they are now my favourite tyre, and I probably will use them all.
And also for disclosure on that is, you did test them before you had them as a sponsor.
Yeah, I did.
So you wanted to see what they were like first.
Yeah, that's what, because they basically contacted me to say, would you like to be like, can we sponsor you? And I thought, well, I don't want to be sponsored by a tyre that's rubbish. So I said, if you send me some, I'll try them. And yeah, they're really good. They're really grippy. You feel safe with them. They're fast, but they're really, really puncture resistant. It says airproof layer. Pro-type belt.
Well, obviously they do different types. So like, I've used the compound tyres that are like race tyres before. And
Kyle used the compound race tyres.
as we know from the Italy trip,
on a 2,000 kilometre bike ride. Let's just say it wasn't puncture paradise.
And we rode gravel with them. Well, it's a testament to the tyre, really.
They did well. The tyres did well, but it
still survived.
They survived, but yeah. But these are really, really good for endurance, and I do have a discount code which I'll put on the screen. So yeah.
Right. What was the hardest day, and how did you get through the hard moments?
The hardest day was probably the Tourmalet day. It was a mountain stage. I think I had 4 mountains that day. Yeah, Cold Aspen. At Tourmalet, Cold Aspen, Col de Paris Swords, is that how you say it? And Super Bagnaire.
Yeah.
And Tourmalet at that point in time was the biggest mountain I've ever done in my life on the bike, to the highest point I'd ever been. And I remember just thinking, I've still got 3 mountains left after this. I was struggling. It wasn't necessarily my body that was struggling. I think it was more my mind, because my body clearly could do it, but I think when your mind is being negative, it just makes it so much harder. So to get through, I did have a few tears on the way up. Kyle actually rode this climb with me, which was really helpful. But I always just use my little mantras in my head. So I always say to myself, I can and I will, I can and I will. I make up little sayings like, on this trip it was, I get through one, I get through another, keep my head in it, I got this, me lover. My lover's what me and my friend Laura say. So just little things like that, and like thinking positive, reminding myself I've done harder things in the past. I started cycling because of my mental health, and nothing is ever as hard as what I went through in my head with that. So I always bring myself back to that. And it is such a beautiful climb, Tourmalet, that just looking up made it better. So that was a really hard day. There was another day when I was setting off in the rain. I had 190 miles to do, setting off in the dark. knowing that I still had like another 20 days to go and just feeling really tired and sort of questioning whether I could do it. But like every time I had those moments, like an hour later I'd be absolutely fine. So I think I always told myself, like, I feel like this now, but it won't last forever. Because you have these really big high and lows on endurance cycles. Like 1 minute you can be like really singing and hyper, and then the next hour you're just counting down the miles and it's not going down. But I think a lot of that is to do with food as well. Like if you've not eaten enough, your emotions are a lot lower. So it's just making sure you eat enough and sleep enough as well. That was really important. So as soon as I got in from the day, I'd be eating and going to bed as soon as I could. But having Kyle there really helped. I couldn't have done it without you, Kyle. Seriously.
He's stopping now.
He was very... Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do it without you. Having someone there to meet you, like people that came out and cheered me on, I couldn't believe it. Like that was a real mood boost actually up Periswords that day. 2 people with an Amy sign were on a corner, and like I was struggling so bad. It was so hot. I had heat rash. I felt like I was being burnt alive, and yeah, that really helped me.
But what I kept saying is, on all these long rides, it's going to feel like you can't do it sometimes. But you do get through it.
Yeah.
If you let yourself.
Yeah.
And if you tell yourself you are going to do it and you get through it, and the next day you're like, actually, I got through that really bad day.
Yeah.
And it's all, a lot of it is mindset.
Yeah.
If you can
definitely.
if you push yourself, I'm not saying always push yourself through it because that might be a bad idea.
Sometimes you have to.
You got to put your health first sometimes.
Yeah.
But mentality is a big part of it, I think.
Yeah, I think when you're doing a long ride, you always have to be careful. Like if you physically are really struggling, like, you know, if you're getting chest pain and things like that, then you have to stop. Like nothing
any sort of pain is
nothing
not good.
is worth your health. Like obviously that's the most important thing. But I think for me, I kind of went in with the mindset of quitting is not an option. So I never saw that as an option. And I also did this thing where it's really weird, but when I was riding with someone, they were like, oh, it must just be like muscle memory now, your body's just riding, like you've been doing it for so long every day. And that really helped me, because when I was going up a climb and I was struggling and my mind was telling me I couldn't or it's hard, I just thought to myself, muscle memory, my body can do it even if my mind says I can't, just pedal. And I kind of like separated my body from my mind a bit, and I was like, no matter what my mind says, just pedal your legs, just pedal. And yeah, I just kind of used that little saying in my head, like muscle memory, your legs know how to pedal, just keep going.
Yeah.
Next question.
This is a big one. What does your recovery look like? How long until you get back on the bike? Was the chai latte as nice as you expected after all the stages?
Chai latte is my favourite drink, and I didn't have one for 29 days, and yes, it's tasted good. I actually had 2 chai lattes in Paris today after I finished at 2 different cafes, so yeah, it did taste good. Recovery, so I've finished 10 days ago, and I have already been back on the bike. I thought before I did this that I'm going to not want to ride my bike for at least a month after this challenge, and I'm going to be injured and all sorts, but no injuries, so I was really happy with that. Very ironically, I have hurt my knee from too much walking in Paris, so I didn't even think about this, but obviously the whole 29 days I literally hardly walked because I was just on my bike. Then the only walking I did was from my bike to bed basically and to a meal. So we then in Paris, very silly, we walked 30,000. Not intentionally, but like it was just the only way to do it. We walked 30,000 steps the day after I finished, and 25,000 steps the next day because all the metros were closed for the Tour de France. My knee started hurting, and yeah, my knee's been hurting a little bit now. Not on the bike, just walking. Today's been the first day it's actually okay. So yeah, that's a bit ironic, but I did go on the bike 4 days after I finished when we got home, just for a little recovery ride, and I've been on the bike 5 times since then. The maximum ride I've done is 35 miles, so just keeping it short for me, really steady, no pushing. I don't feel like I've got pushing me at the minute. It's just about keeping my legs going and just steady and just enjoying having a bit less miles at the minute. I've been doing a lot of decorating. I've been painting the bathroom ceiling, painting the cupboards. I've got paint on me at the minute actually. But yeah, recovery-wise, it's just sort of eating well, keeping my body moving a little bit, not pushing too much, and I'm looking forward to getting back to long rides again because I'm missing them.
Yeah, but let your body recover properly.
Yeah. It's so important, because if I do too much too soon, then I'm just going to waste all that effort I put in of not waste it, but I can benefit from what I've done basically if I recover right. So I do find resting really hard, but yeah, just doing some steady miles to tick me over.
How do you feel now that you've done it?
Oh, and can I just say on a side note, we did have a spa day as well, and Kyle came. A spa morning.
I've organised it.
Kyle
with
organised
help with the mother-in-law, okay.
So we did recover with that as well when we got back. That was really nice. I had a nice relaxing massage. But yesterday I had a sports massage, and I never want to have it that again. The most painful massage I've ever had in my life. The sports massage started doing my leg, like started touching my leg. She went, oh, wow. She went, you're very tight. I was like, yeah, I can imagine, I can feel it. But yeah, I just was like gritting my teeth. But how do I feel now I've finished? It's weird, like, I'm not very good at saying I'm proud of myself because I feel like it's a bit big-headed. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like I don't, you know, like, because I couldn't believe it when Sky News contacted me. I went on Sky News the day after live and I couldn't believe it. And I just feel a bit like I don't want to come across like big-headed.
I think if anyone that knows, this annoys a little bit about
because
you.
when I finished, I was like, I don't know.
I think anyone that watches Amy knows that she's not big-headed, even though some people might think it, but everyone that knows Amy knows you're not big-headed, so you should be proud of yourself. People can be proud of themselves for accomplishing something, whether it's big or small. Everything's personal. You should feel proud of yourself.
But like I always say, like I didn't do this to be on Sky News or something. I did this because I wanted to make a difference for people. Like that is the real reason I did it, and I want to help people. Like it kind of didn't set in that I'd finished until probably even a few days ago. But like the other night we were watching telly, weren't we? And there was an advert for a blanket with a hood on it. And Kyle said to me, "Oh, that's what you used to be like when you were poorly." Because I'm getting a bit emotional. Because I used to like walk around the house and with the hood on, didn't I? I just used to walk around with this.
It was a TV series.
Yeah, I just used to walk around with this like blanket with a hood on, just like wrapped up, and I didn't want anyone to see me.
It was a picture of our life for a while where, you just used to walk around in your pyjamas and dressing gown all the time.
And it was like when I just started cycling, I was really unwell and I just didn't want to be here anymore. And I didn't want anyone to see me. I didn't want to go out. I felt very ugly. I still feel ugly quite a lot now.
No, you're not ugly.
And like that last night when we saw that, it made me really sad because I was like, I wish I could go to that girl and say, like, look what you've done now.
Yeah, but I remember.
Sorry, I didn't want to get emotional.
I remember at that time, I used to tell you daily that one day you will look back.
Yeah.
And this will be.
Yeah, like I wish I could go to that girl and be like, please don't like think that you shouldn't be here because in 4 years' time you're going to cycle this and you're going to raise £90,000 for charity. Like I just couldn't see that when I was at that point. Like I just didn't want to be here. And that's why I did this, because there might be people now that were like me then.
Well, I did say on camera, and the video must have deleted itself, fortunately for me. But I had a bit of an emotional moment when we was in France, and one of our friends donated quite a big amount of money to the charity. And it was, you could never see a way out of that place, but you should be so proud of yourself, you should be really proud of yourself for like the charity and the rides and the recognition, and you fully deserve it. And that's, I feel like, I'm talking to Amy now, I'm not even talking to camera, but like you fully deserve it, so you need to take that and run with it. But I think you should just be proud of yourself for beating and being in a good place.
That's what I mean.
That's
like,
the achievement.
That's the achievement for me. Like I knew I'd be hard on myself if I didn't complete this challenge, because I'm very hard on myself. But I think that's what makes me very determined as well, and makes me do these.
And also, you've inspired more people than I can literally remember.
Yeah, but I think that's what makes me do these rides, because I do have that like determination in me, and I think that's what I always said. Like, even if I didn't finish this challenge, I've already got the biggest win I could ask for, which is my mental health back. Like, I've got my happiness back. I never want to go back to that place again, and I've got cycling to help, like, to thank for that. Without the bike, without you, Kyle, I don't know where I'd be. So that's why I did this. I didn't do it for recognition. I didn't do it for views, which is what some people have said. I generally did it because I wanted to help people, and I hope that's what I've done. Sorry, I feel really emotional. Like, it's just sad to think of what I used to be like.
That's how it made me feel when I was talking about it before.
But I am, to be fair, like, maybe I can say I'm proud of myself because I got through that, and it took a lot of determination to get through getting better. It took a lot of hard work to get better and get out of that place and get to a healthy weight, because I struggled with my eating, and be healthy. And so that's the message I want to give. Like, please don't give up. Like, whatever you're doing, like, you can't compare yourself to other people, because we all go through our own struggles. I'm very fortunate. I've got a family. I've got you. Like, there's people that don't have that. So I'm very fortunate, and I'm very grateful for you and Chester and everyone. But I think I know. What's the next question? Sorry. I'm just thinking.
One lesson that you'll carry with you
Yeah,
for
I
the
was
rest of
going
your
to say,
life.
I think it like leads on to the next question of the lesson that I'll take from this is probably that I am stronger than I think, because I think I kind of thought that having
You
like
thought you
having
were just
struggled,
blagging it at times. didn't
yeah, I think sometimes having struggled, I always think, oh, I'm a weak makes you a weak person, but no, it doesn't. It makes you a stronger person, because it's not easy to get through what I went through, and it's definitely not easy to get through that Tour de France ride. There was really hard moments, but would I do it again? Yes, 100%, because riding through those mountains was so beautiful. And what I'd say to anyone that, I know I'm very fortunate that I've got this platform and channel, and somehow cycling has become my life, and I'm so grateful for that. Honestly, I cannot thank everyone enough that watches this channel, because I wouldn't be doing this without you, and I wish everyone could experience what I get to. But whatever is in your budget and within your range, like, if you've got setting yourself a challenge, don't think that you can't do it. Like, as long as you train, if your body's ready, then it's just 80% of your mind then. So get your mind in it and go for it, and enjoy that feeling at the end. But then at the same time, if you don't want to do a challenge, don't. Just go on cafe rides and enjoy yourself, because at the end of the day, what I've kind of learnt as well is we only live once, and you've just got to enjoy yourself and not give a shiny about what anyone thinks, because there's always going to be negative people. But as long as you've got the people you love and you do something you love, then that's all that matters, because at the end of the day, we're all going to end up in the same place. 6 feet under.
I think
But hopefully not yet.
I think people have to remember as well, like, going back to the thing you said earlier about people feeling like it's a weakness to have mental health struggles, myself included, we've all been there.
Yeah.
That you're probably the strongest of most people.
Yeah.
Like, because it creates a resilience in your mind that's really good.
I don't give
So
up
never
easily.
doubt yourself, and that proves what you've done.
Yeah.
No, I don't think you would have done that before you were ill.
No, probably wouldn't.
I don't think you would have had the
I
same
wouldn't have started.
resilience.
That's the other thing as well. I wouldn't have started cycling if I didn't get ill.
Because I knew you was a little bit ill when I met you, probably, but not to the level, obviously, of where you were. And yeah, I don't think you would have done something like that. So it's a testament to, and it's a journey. Life's a journey, isn't it? Like, you can't.
Life is a roller coaster.
Oh,
just
Ronan
gotta
Keating.
ride it. Yeah.
But yeah, I think you've just got to take the ups and downs, and it does frustrate me when you do get the negativity as well.
Yeah, but I
because
think-
I'm protective of you.
I think that's another
But
thing.
this
I
is
think
never an
I have learnt to be more I am quite good at like being positive thinking when I'm on a ride, and I've definitely
Well, you're a
developed
very
that.
positive person.
I've definitely developed that on the ride, and I think the main tip I want to give to people that want to get into endurance cycling, we are going to do a video for beginners. That'll be one of the next videos.
Although I still class myself as a beginner.
We are not beginners anymore. We can't say that anymore, Kyle. I would think that the main thing for endurance is pace yourself. Don't just think to yourself, go slower than I usually ride, which is what I did. Even though you feel like you're going at the pace of a snail or a mealworm.
Ride your own ride.
Yeah, don't worry about average speed. That went out the window. Don't worry about I say don't worry about watts or heart rate, but I was looking at my watts a little bit just to make sure I wasn't pushing too much. But
That's through training, though.
Yeah, by the end of the ride, my power pedals died, so I wasn't even knowing what I was doing. I was just going on the feel of my body. You don't have to have that, but it is helpful in training. But yeah, just go slow, steady. Set yourself a challenge that you think is doable, because if you set yourself something that you don't think is doable, setting off with a negative mindset isn't ideal. And yeah, just enjoy it. Like I always say to myself on these challenges, you've decided to do it, so you can't be moaning about it because you've put yourself in pain. It's a privilege. There's people that are in much worse situations. I was telling myself when I was struggling, in real pain. I'm just on my bike living my best life, so, and those hard moments always 100% outweigh
A tip I've actually learnt though.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
But while it was on my mind, otherwise I'm going to forget.
Yeah.
Is there's a really famous Audax person. I don't need to say his name. But I spoke to him at the end of the Easter Arrow.
Yeah.
And this was really interesting because he's one of your biggest believers.
Yeah.
And he's always telling me of what you should be doing and what you can achieve. And I keep having to remind you.
Yeah.
And he said, I think the thing prior to this challenge, I think the thing that Amy is going to be a bigger struggle is believing in herself. And he was like, if you can get her to believe in herself, then she will achieve it. But he was saying, like, there's no reason why you can't set yourself a challenge that you don't think is attainable.
Yeah.
And even if you fail to like complete the challenge or do what you set out to do, sometimes that can be a blessing because
Yeah.
that can push you forward.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to complete everything. You don't need to succeed in everything. Like, just try your
Yeah,
best.
we all have, yeah.
And the failures can be what actually really,
Yeah.
the same as your mental health.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes the hardest, through the hardest moments come the best moments, and that's what I always remind myself. Like, yes, I left my job as a mental health nurse, I couldn't cope, but through that I'm now doing this. So at that time it felt like my life was over, but now here we are with Pepe and Marmy, who came from the Alps, and he came from home, and he's my little mascot. But yeah, I think that's all the questions. We have had a lot of questions asking, what are we doing next? Secreto.
Well, there is something coming.
There's something coming.
Don't worry your minds.
And both of us will be doing it. Yeah. I'm currently planning it. I've been planning it since January.
Well, we are planning. You have a little bit more time on the laptop than I do.
You've planned about 3% so far with me.
No, that's not true.
I think
More
it
than
is.
that. No.
You spent about an hour with me. I've done about 50 hours.
I don't think that's fair.
It's fine though, because I like
you spend a lot more time on the laptop than I do.
I am expected to do most of the planning for it because you're out on the building site, so it's my job really.
But there's something
coming. Carl has started an FT Builder training plan on Ruby. We are doing a Ruby club ride on Monday, the 11th. 7 p.m. So if you want to come and join us, we're doing stage 13 of the tour, which is the Periswords TT.
Good stage, actually, that.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that.
And, well, we just want to finish on a little present that Kyle got me, which is very nice of him.
It was something that took a lot of communication while we were away.
It's made by a man from our local cycling club. This is not any way paid or anything like that, but he has given a little discount code in case anyone else wants one, because you can make it about anything. He cycles in our local club, so...
And can I just point out, I wanted to pay for this.
Yeah, Kyle wanted to pay, but he wouldn't let us.
Because I wanted to pay because a lot of time and work went into this, and it's just fantastic. And I already knew I wanted to get you this before I even contacted him.
Yeah, it's basically a 3D print of my whole ride with the stats.
Used by using actual GPX files.
Yeah, and it's even got like the little elevations on it, and then there's a little cheeky extra.
This is hangable on the wall because it's got the hooks on the back.
Carl's getting his advert head on, and then he even made me a little cut out of my bike, which
it's exceptional because it's even got like this SIS bottles.
Yeah, it's even got everything on it.
Look, the tail fit is so cool.
So it's really
even
nice.
Got the ass saver on.
You've got the ass saver on, which we didn't use that much, but Sarah bad there. But yeah, it's even got a little stand, so that's really nice. So Kyle.
But what I love about this as well, like all the mountains stick up.
Yeah.
This was by far the biggest one he's done.
Really nice.
But the mountains stick up, you can actually see it.
So thank you to Print My Ride. I'll put the discount code because that's just like something I'll keep forever. So
I wanted something as a reminder.
But sorry we couldn't do all the questions because we had so many and we'd be here all night, and I've got a nice lentil stew cooking in there, which I'll show you in a minute.
And we've already been busy, so.
But we'll do some more videos, but we're going to have a bit of chill time now, riding in the peaks again. But we have got a 200k coming up, haven't we?
I'm excited for it.
No rest for the wiki.
People have asked about the grass.
Oh yeah, some people have asked. So before we left, we know if you've been watching us, you know that we've been having some building work done.
Also, this is Chester's donkey.
Oh, and we got Chester a donkey. Chester! Okay, wait a minute. Chester missed us, but he's back now. Someone bought me an emotional support pickle, so thanks for that.
From Canada.
They're from Canada.
Lovely.
Well, that's some wine for Nigel for letting us borrow the bike rack.
And he was a lifesaver with that.
These are what we got from the top of every climb. Kyle gave me them at the end as a surprise. That was really nice. Here's Chester. Do you want your donkey? Oh, he's not actually... Oh, here he does. He's not a massive fan of the donkey, though. Maybe
he is. He does play with it. But he has to be in the mood.
He more wants to play with them.
He's quite a lazy dog.
You're not allowed them, though. And then the grass situation. So the extension is going up.
Do you want me to open the...
Go on then, Kyle. We've actually just been to the kitchen. We're basically...
Chester's point is you going because you can't get anywhere.
In there.
No, you can't get
basically, because our mortgage is renewing, we thought, yeah, let's add the kitchen to the mortgage. Didn't we, Kyle?
Which is where I've been this afternoon.
But we're not getting a Smeg fridge because they're too expensive, so...
Well, and the fact they're quite small.
Are they? Anyway, this is now the garden. The grass has grown. So we're very happy about that. And Chester loves going out there, but he has to go out the other door.
And this section over here is going to be planters and stuff, so...
Yeah.
There's a couple... One tree's actually started growing back, but I'm going to dig that out and that's going to be planters.
Yeah.
Nice big window.
And this is all rubble.
Well, this is going to be the floor, obviously.
Yeah. But anyway, just thank you again, everyone. Thanks to everyone that donated. I cannot believe that we raised so much money. Chester says thank you too, and I'm sorry to my plant that died while we were away. That's what's
Well, mine survived. So she was laughing at my plant before we went away.
This is another one of my plants. Cactus.
That's just ridiculous.
So I've even managed to kill a cactus.
But she was laughing before we went away, and I think it was on video at some point, and she was laughing about how dead my plant looked and how it was going to die while I was away. How wrong were you?
Go on then, let's see.
Come on.
Sorry, the hoover's out because I've been doing some cleaning today. Oh, these are the tyres, look, still fine. They've done over 4,000 miles and no puncture. My bike's going for a service tomorrow, actually. Oh yeah, because tomorrow I'm going to be on, you know, Grant Thomas podcast. They're doing a women's version.
Occurring?
I'm going on that tomorrow. What's occurring? Yeah.
Fam.
Wiki's occurring. That's what's occurring.
What's occurring,
Should I
fam?
say wiki on the podcast? No, I can't do that.
Hey, me.
What would you do if I said wiki on the podcast?
Look quite funny. It's thrived.
It's not exactly
Yeah,
thrived.
as it's grown.
Well-
grown loads.
Mind the camera. What's this?
Well, it was close to.
That's Dad.
No, it's
That
not.
leaf's Dad. That leaf's Dad.
Yeah, but you said that before.
But
when
the
then
rest of it's good.
And it's grown even more.
Yeah.
So now I've got a bigger tree.
And I've still got my foam rollers because
We've got an
everyone that
additional
knows
one now.
this one I ordered thinking it was a paint roller.
This
but it
one we
turned
bought
out
from
to-
France.
It turned out to be, you know, a muscle one. So
And
this
Chester's
afternoon I needed it.
stretching like he's in his
Anyway, we're going to go now because I'm cooking my lentil stew. Oh, do you want to see my lentil stew actually? This is another thing with my eating. I always make homemade meals and I always make meals that are high in protein and going to fuel me well. Hang on, put the microphone down there. Here we go, vegetarian tonight. That is butterbean, lentil, spinach, tomatoes, pepper, onion, some different spices, and then we're going to have it with homemade flatbread. So I do love my cooking. Anyway, Carl's not really a fan of the lentils too much, are you?
I've actually been really healthy.
You have, but the lentils sometimes give you a bit of,
Flatulence.
yeah, flatulence, and he already has enough of that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. TT to the FN, ta-ta for now. Goodbye.
Arrivederci.